Hello everybody, thank you very much for watching. My name is Don. Thank you to all my new subscribers and my brothers and sisters that commented before. I want to do another video. This, as the title suggests, RH negative blood group. There are those with RH negative blood, and it says that the reptilian connection to it. I believe, I did another video before about the R complex, reptilian brain, in other words, reptilian complex, shows proof, though, that God made man and woman perfect in the Garden of Eden, Satan comes along and messes things up. I believe in this, as I said before, Satan corrupted Eve by going with her before Adam. He became the serpent. Either he transformed himself into the serpent, or he possessed the serpent, as it says in Revelation 12. Revelation chapter 12. It says, "So down the great dragon was held, the original serpent, the one called devil and Satan, who is misleading the entire inhabited earth. He was held down to the earth, and his angels were held down with him." So he was the original serpent, it says there, in the Garden of Eden. Could he have been the first reptilian? Anyway, him, and also before the flood, it says in Genesis that the fallen angels, really from the spirit realm, came down and took on human form, and had relations with women, as it says in chapter 6 of Genesis. It says here, so now it came about that the men started to grow in number on the surface of the ground, and the daughters were born to them. And the sons of the true God, the fallen angels, Satan, and the fallen angels, began to notice the daughters of men on the earth, and they were good looking. And they went taking wives for themselves, namely all whom they chose. After that, it says the Nephilim, or giants, proved to be in those days, and also after that, when the sons of the true God continued to have relations with the daughters of men, and they bore sons to them that were mighty ones of old, the men of fame. Yes, so that not only the fallen angels intermingled with the women of earth, and their children became giants, but not only that, I believe they genetically altered some of the humans on the earth. Homo erectus, and with their genetic makeup, or taught their children, the giants, to mingle the genetic makeups of theirs with the humans, and creating a form of hybrid. Even the Sumerian text talks about the Anunnaki reptilian gods. We know they're not true gods, but fallen angels. And the Anunnaki reptilian, they came, with a mingled, genetically manipulated the Homo erectus on the earth that were here already with theirs genes, and created a hybrid race, a slave race, one that, so basically a hybrid. So coming on to this question, so if our, the human race was corrupted, and the children of Eve, some of the children of Eve, the line of Cain, and those before the flood, were, if they were corrupted with the reptilian fallen angel seed, there should be some proof of it. Yes, One, I dealt with the reptilian complex, the brain. Now this time I'm talking about the blood. Yes, there's more proof of, in the blood, as it were. An interesting article I've found out about, which says the discovery about our human genome, genes. 250 out of our 25,000 human genes have no evolutionary basis. So 250 genes are not shared with any other life forms. That is, 84 to 85% of human test positive, plus for the rhesus monkey gene. In other words, they call RH factor. The RH positive comes from the word rhesus monkey genes. Though I believe we were created, that was just some person put that, but we were created. We didn't come from monkeys, but it's just called. They just named it rhesus monkey or RH gene factor. Basically, what they're saying is only 250 out of the human race, out of say 25,000 human genes, 250 out of our genes of 25,000 human genes have no evolutionary basis. 250 genes share are not shared with any life form on Earth. So basically, majority, 84 to 85% of the human race have RH positive gene. In other words, RH positive or monkey gene, if this is it's so rare, I believe that the RH negative is so rare. This is what I'm going to speak about. RH negative blood group have the reptilian traits. It's only 15% of the world population. That's very interesting. Have this blood group, and proves again that some of the people, have this, are like hybrids, as it were, or have this blood group, and they are they're supposed to be more superior, or and they have meant to have higher IQ. Von Daken claims that some of the humans were genetically modified by the aliens. Higher form, a hybrid to them. They have a higher IQ, sensitive vision, very similar, more similar to a reptilian than a mammal. Sensitive vision, a lower body temperature, sensitive vision, high IQ, increased sensitivity to heat, which reddish hair, blue-green hazel eyes, some, and you won't believe this, even an extra vertebrae, like a tailbone. So you see this, they've got this Rh negative blood group is more reptilian in characteristics. What do you call it? This is it. They claim mankind, or those on Earth with Rh negative blood, appears not to have originated on Earth, this article said. Now, after doing study, with this blood type, Rh negative blood group, they studied it a lot, these scientists, and it appears not to have originated on Earth. It may prove to be a major factor in proving mankind, or 15% of the Earth, Rh negative blood group, is a hybrid. But certain people, I believe, throughout history and ancient past they've been manipulated by the fallen angels, reptilian, gods, whatever, but we know they're fallen angels, to control mankind, put them in position of power, even to this day. So it proves that they actually said that they can't. This is it. This blood group, RH negative, is to not have originated on Earth. So where does it come from? It proves that mankind is a hybrid, or 15% of it, between a cosmic ancestor, this article said, on Earth, and ancient Earth ancestors. So if it's true, it would, they will be genetically be similar to them in characteristics. If i.e. psychic powers, etc. It's true they should have similar characteristics if it was reptilian gods or whatever. As I said, the fallen angels like to, just because since the beginning they like to, I believe, change themselves, because they have the power to transform themselves into whoever they like, and I think they prefer reptilians for some reason. It brings fear to mankind, and basically what they're saying, RH positive, which most of us, 85% of mankind, is more mammalian in trait. But the RH negative, the article says, blood group, is more reptilian trait. David Icke says, though I don't condone all the things he says, but he might be right about the reptilian connection. RH negative blood groups are born with an extra vertebrae, a tailbone, he says. Cavola, it's called, the tail, in other words, an extra on the backbone, extra bit on the ends, and claim they are a hybrid, part reptilian and a part human. And reptilians are tracking them down, and they like to abduct these RH negative. Maybe they have a connection with them. RH negative women and men, they have several unusual traits, while RH positive, like probably you and me or whatever, they have more mammalian traits, and while RH negative have more reptilian traits. And I can give you some examples, a big list of things. Maybe you have this very rare blood group. Let me see. I'm going to read a list of traits that RH negative people have. If you have this, it might be more of a struggle for you to do what is good, because those with this will be hybrid but type characteristics. But obviously those in the past had more stronger characteristics. But anyway, green and says here, common physical characteristics of people with RH negative blood. There are some physical traits which can be proven, but are mental tendencies harder to prove, and some magic traits very hard, if not impossible to prove. And it says here, green or blue eyes that change colour. That's a bit strange. Green or blue eyes that change colour. Very reptilian. Reddish tints of hair, tapered toes or high arch, larger than average head size. Well, sounds like, it does sound like a hybrid. Larger than average head size, extra vertebrae or rib. That's why I believe the grey aliens, they're probably hybrids, human, and they're genes. Is it extra vertebrae, larger than average head size, heightened senses including vision, lower average body temperature and blood pressure, and low pulse rate, tendency towards healing professions, a need to act. Is it a need for acts of kindness, empathy? Is it a tendency to easily be shocked or scared? A tendency to be in close proximity to inexplicable strange events? Body scars that cannot be explained, frequent empathic illnesses, love of nature and outdoors, a drive to seek out truthful answers, higher than average IQ, psychic abilities, having a feeling of just knowing that something is going to happen before it does, psychic dreams, sun and heat sensitivity, feeling of not belonging, feeling of not belonging or being an outsider, stronger than average immune system, static electricity, ability to interfere with electricity, ESP, information of the present, past and future, in an alternate reality, and otherworldly feelings, curiosity with magic, disruption of electrical items like the EMF fields, can pick up vibes of others, attract the attention of others, and said to be mysterious, strange, magical characteristics. This is it, etc., etc. It shows, I believe, that they were manipulated to, to have all these traits, to be almost superior, hybrids, but only 15% of people have this. I believe that they, in the ancient past, they created hybrids of those in nobility, and royalty, high position, so they could control mankind. For instance, as I said, they created hybrids in the ancient past, or and to control them. They put them in. So those who had Rh negative blood people groups, so with reptilian traits, as I said, are either in aristocracy, nobility, blue blood, I will get onto that, which they control, and even the Illuminati, I believe, they've got certain blood groups they control. And I read an interesting article which says here, also Rh negative blood has more copper in the blood. Would you believe it? Which makes them blue blood. That makes the blood in their veins appear more blue in colour. So you've heard of expression of blue blood, royalty. Well, there's some truth in it, because the Rh negative blood have more copper in the blood, which makes the blood in the veins appear more blue. You've heard of the expression, blue blood. In fact, almost all the European royal house in Europe, I believe even the British royal, aristocracy, almost all the European have Rh negative blood. So they on purposely, I believe, created a hybrid of the royalty so they can control the human race. So in fact, all the European royal house have Rh negative, almost all. And Prince Charles of the UK royalty, he said he's got Rh negative 0 blood type. The 0 is supposed to be RH negative blood. Would you believe it? And I read an article about, after a lot of study, the Royal Association, the conclusion, this is here, of their very long study, the origins of blue blood of the European royal families. This is it. Conclusion is, it says we can very certainly say that the very unique RH negative factor blood has elevated copper levels compared with other blood types. Compared to other blood types, it's got more elevated copper levels, which may allow for a more pronounced blue hue to their blood while in the veins. So in other words, blue blood, royalty, RH negative, and with the link to reptilian connection, but also along with the use of using silver to eat on, silver plates or drink from, silver wine goblets. Because of that, they have what do you call it? More blue. RH negative factor has more elevated copper levels and makes the blood more blue, pronounced in the blood or in the veins. So would you believe it? So that's, there is some truth about the blue blood RH negative group and reptilian connection. As I said, the RH negative blood group, very rare, only 15%, a lot of hybrid, that proves it. I believe that on purposely, manipulated their DNA with nobility, created nobility, so they could control the human race, and they have more, they have more ESP, and they're more inclined to have contact with, aliens. But I know that it's only, like I said, it's the fallen angels, or the greys, I believe, aliens are just another, they're just hybrids, I believe, created with the human, and again, their DNA, nothing, and just have more pronounced, RH negative blood. Anyway, as I said, in the past they used nobility. They created hybrids in positions of nobility. I can show you a picture in an ancient Egyptian pharaoh